Now we're actually moving into a bit of a summer break before we actually start designing and building this area. This whole place here is obviously going to be full skate park as well. It's going to be a bit of a smaller version than this because this is very big and progressive. And this area here is going to be more jibby and techy and fun for all sorts of levels to ride. Alright guys, build episodes are back. At the beginning of this year, we started off the journey of building one of the probably best skate parks in the world. Today is day one of building an over $300,000 skate park. We basically finished up 3/4 of the park, and then summer hit, and we obviously had to have a little bit of a break because the guys were already way too worked out. Andreas is actually not gonna be with us for the remaining part of the park. We actually almost finished the whole thing. I'm not gonna stand there and act like we haven't started. I just wanted the videos to drop consecutive and not be spread out over a long period of time. And you guys know that we set up the mission by the beginning of this year to build probably the best skate park in the world. And I'd say that we had some visitors over summer when the remaining part of the park that was already finished was open. Everyone was saying like, whoa, this is absolutely insane. This is probably the best park I've ever ridden. And that warms my heart to hear that. Couldn't thank William and Andreas enough for all their hard work they're putting in and everything they've been doing. Stonberg Big, you guys should follow that. He's the weird brain with all the like, when I come up and say something, I want to have this. And then his brain is just like, oh my God, how am I gonna finish that and get that to a final product? But he makes it work. And he eats a lot of painkillers for his head. But should we just jump straight into like September or something and get into the video? All right, so to start with, a lot of things have actually happened. For example, we have a huge quarter pipe here now. This one's measured after one of our favorite quarter pipes that we have in Sweden. The park doesn't really have a proper quarter pipe, so we wanted to like get a really good one for all the people that want to learn quarter pipe tricks, but then also we're going to use it for some other things. It's going to be very versatile. So it's a 2.3 tall quarter pipe with a 2.7 radius. So it's around 77, 78 degrees. We're gonna have a coping on it and it's gonna be very, very wide. I think it's around 6.5 meters. And then, yeah, we're just gonna build 2 landings on the sides up there. So that's gonna be very, very, very exciting. Other than that, William, the guy he is, look at this beautiful structure of a staircase. It's a staircase, but it's also like with the wooden plugs here, so he hidden all the screws and everything and sanded everything to be real. How did you even get this one up? You said you built it on your own, so he was basically standing like this, I assume, because you don't know what ergonomics is, right? Yeah. That's insane, actually, in my opinion, that you could build that by yourself. But then also, if we walk up here, I'm gonna throw in some B-roll on all the details and everything, but he sanded down pretty much everything perfectly, because we wanted to make this platform a bit wider. So it used to be a railing here, and it didn't leave a lot of room here to drop in for the park. So now you can stand back here, take a quick little pedal, drop in, and start with the step down instead. So that was one of the things that we thought was really cool, but then also we wanted this to line up with the quarter pipe. If you look here, now we have a perfect drop into the quarter pipe, and then you can also jump up here if you want. On top of that, we're gonna have a ramp going down that way, and then there's gonna be a ramp going up against the wall on the other side. So all of that is gonna line up really good. We're gonna be able to do the hips on the side and then jump up, do manuals across, jump there. It's just gonna open up a lot of new lines and transfers. We also did this. We reinforced this guy, and then we also made it wider. It used to be only like a foot here maybe, but now we made it a bit wider with a bit of an angled corner here, so you can still do like go up and do manuals around and stuff, so it's not a pointy sharp edge here. Yeah, I'm gonna throw in some B-roll that William have filmed on himself while being here alone. As I said, we started last Monday, and it's the Wednesday after. First couple of days was just basically planning everything out, making sure all the measurements and everything aligned, and then also find a real structure of it. We wanted this to be a really, really creative space since it's a quarter of the park, but we wanted it to be a bit smaller, but still filled with lines so you can do it in every single way, and also include a couple of features that we feel like the park is lacking. So that was the first 2 days, and then I left over the weekend and I came back. And he built this whole quarter pipe, this whole platform, this whole stair set that looks like people put like 10 years to just make really fine. You have something wrong in your head. After that, we're obviously gonna pack the whole park with boxes here and there, and they're gonna be, we're not gonna show too much. We want it to be a bit of a surprise. So this whole park that we built during the spring, we kind of had room to move around and shift around a couple of things because we had some space over there in the end, because that's like the loading zone. We need to be able to come in and come out of the park, and then also like fire exits, blah, 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 whatnot. This has to line up perfectly. Everything is crammed in. It's not going to be a lot of flat bottom here. It's going to be perfectly aligned and everything. So everything has to line up to the millimeter almost for us to be able to get everything line in and ride well. So this is a lot more complex area that we're gonna build now. Yeah, I can't stop looking at the staircase. It's in a skate park. That's why also we start with that, so we know how much room we have in the bottom, and then we're gonna start on that side as well. But if everything works properly after the SketchUp, we shouldn't have to change anything, but you never know. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good thing to say. We spent 2 whole days of doing a SketchUp for this area, and with all the angles, all the measurements and everything, and then the computer didn't like that, then erased everything. But yeah, now we're back on track. This next project we're working on is gonna be the most complex and tricky thing to build in the whole park. If you watch the first few episodes, you know that we twisted this whole wall into 2 different radiuses. I made their life a living hell for a few weeks, but they pulled it off and it looks seamless now. You can't even see it. Here in the corner here, I'm a big fan of the hips in the skate park. This whole hip section we have here is perfect, and I want us to be able to keep that going throughout the whole park. What you can see here, down here, is gonna be kind of like the form of what we're gonna build next. This is gonna be a thing that, you know, I said that they had 2 different radiuses. This one had 10 different radiuses. The William has to seamlessly fade together. Great, no problema. But basically it's gonna be a bowl corner, same measurements as this. This one already has a progressive radius. Now we're gonna use this radius to come out all the way here as a bowl corner. And then we're gonna have a rounded edge here while changing the radius all the way over here, because I want a landing going down that way. And that's gonna be a lot more mellow than the steep parts there. Like, even I get confused talking about it. But if I show you here, this is what I mean. Look at all of these. These are lined up in the same way. This is the landing of the more mellow part, and this is the first faded radius, right? Yeah. And then the bowl corner is obviously going to be the same as the wall over there, and we're going to put that to a 2 meter height, so it's a bit lower than the quarter pipes over there, but it's gonna match everything here, because everything around here is gonna be 160, which is exactly up to my shin. So this is gonna be a smaller area, a lot more techy, but also a lot more creative, and it's gonna go a bit more flowy in different sorts of ways. Over the next week, we're gonna work on this. We're actually one guy less now. Andreas left us for this part of the park, so I'm here to help out. Work. I need some sneaker pants as well, yeah. These are all the radiuses lined up. As you can see here, that is a much more mellow radius than over here. Into the wall, and then also I want to be able to go from the wall all the way out there. There's like everything we build in this park, we want it to have a multi-purpose. I hate when features only have one way of riding them. We're planning on being here until New Year's, and it's going to be finished before New Year's. Ended up being a lot more complex and taking a lot more area than we thought. But we have to break up this beautiful corner that William spent a really long time building and perfecting it. It's too close, so we need to get rid of this and then start to do some sort of new transition over to the new feature in the corner there. But I think we have a solution now. After a couple days of building this, we're actually on week 2 of building this massive feature here that is a lot more complicated than we originally thought. We have done a lot of things. Well, William has been here day and night working his ass off, and we actually made the whole top floor structure and then sawed out the first line that is going to go all the way around, so we get some sort of structure, everything is lined in perfectly. And now he was here over weekend and sawed out every single piece of wood. What are we even gonna call this? Are we gonna call it the volcano bowl with 10 different radiuses? What are we gonna call it? What?
Headache.
Oh, we're gonna call this the headache piece. So yeah, we're gonna fill up the whole headache now with every single piece that William was here over weekend doing. What is it? There's one radius in them. There's 2 different cuts with angles, so every single piece is over 100 pieces, and he cut out every single one in advance. And now he made these really cool pillars, and we're just gonna basically throw every single piece into this whole thing, and we're gonna do a cool time lapse about it. This landing here ended up being 48 degrees, so it's not that steep. But if we walk all the way around here, it was originally 77, but we cut down the height a little bit, so it's actually around 75 degrees now, we'd say. We could actually check that out, but we've actually just been looking at it and we think it's a good proportion to the landing and everything. But the most idiotic thing about this whole piece that I told William to, like, I want this, and he's like, oh no, therefore the name headache. Every single radius from this radius, so that one, that one, that one, all the way around to the flat landing where we already put beams in, have a different radius. So the whole thing twists like that and changes radius simultaneously. There's a lot of complex words now for being English. 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D, so every single piece that goes into folder 2. But yeah, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pockets we're gonna fill out today. To make that really beautiful time lapse that you just saw when no one was in the picture, we actually jumped in and out of frame every single time. So when we jumped in and we both screwed from one side of each and tried to line it up with the laser and also the markouts and everything, we attached the beam, and then we had to crawl out, run up onto the box, and then take one photo and make sure the camera doesn't move so we can actually get a proper time lapse. And we did that for every single bit throughout the whole headache feature. So yeah, that ended up being really cool. It's also like a clip of 5, 6, 7 seconds. So yeah, it's maybe it wasn't worth it, but I hope you guys understand that we're trying to make an effort to do cool things. So yeah, leave a comment down below what you think about the features, and the next video will actually be about what we put in between. There's a lot of cool things happening with the park, and like this last bit of period of this process is going to be very like cool and touch-uppy and blah blah. That's not even a word. Anyways, I'm gonna quit now so you don't have to listen to me speaking anymore.